What even is this? Okay, let's do it. I don't even know where to start with this. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Oh my god, this is the first video I will have ever done and we really need to catch up clearly. But obviously you all know now that your girl is preggers. Look, where's the bump? Thank you so much and welcome to my channel. I was going to say welcome back, but as you know, I've not actually done a vlog yet and I thought perfect time to do one after we've announced the pregnancy and we need to catch up because it's been like a good 3 months. So why not answer some of the questions that I put on the poll for you the other day. From my head to toe, I'm taking full control. 1 minute. Oh god, feeling just a little bit sickly, so let's just have a, before we start, let's have a look at the questions that some of you asked and we'll go through them. How excited, I feel like it's so exciting that I can actually finally talk to you about what's been going on. Like, I've been so MIA, as you all know, and I've just wanted to say for ages, but it's not been the right time and I've just felt poorly, so I'm so excited to finally like get into it now with you and we'll go through what's been going on, how I've been feeling, what the plans are. So firstly, there was quite a lot of questions, so I've just picked out the ones that were like reoccurring, like good ones. Like, let's go through it. So firstly, how many weeks are you? So I will be 18 weeks on Thursday, so almost halfway. And to be honest, I can't actually believe that because, yeah, it's not flown by, but to say I'm nearly halfway is like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I do feel like this baby just needs to come out. Like, I'm so ready to give birth already. So yeah, that will make it a July baby. We've got our due date. So yeah, a summer baby. So how nice will that be? Like, everyone I've said to about having a July baby, like, oh, what a nice time of year. You can go out like with the pram, and my sister's like, oh, it'll be 6-week holidays, come round, like take the pram out, blah de blah. So it'd be all nice, like first baby feels vibes. Second question, how long had you been trying? So yeah, how long had you been trying? So there's actually a backstory to this. So we obviously got married in August 21, so it's like a year and a bit now. We only really started trying it in June time, I would say, last year. And to be honest, it wasn't really working. And I know it's normal, it's completely normal for like people my age and whatever to be trying for up to a year. And we just feel so lucky and, you know, blessed, appreciated that it's actually happened for us. It's amazing. But for anybody who is like trying now currently or, you know, has experienced that, for each month it doesn't work, it's so disappointing. And that 2-week wait time, it's just so long each month, and then having to like try again. So for us, it took us 6 months, which isn't long at all, but like I say, when you're in it, it felt long at the time. I actually went to go and see a psychic. You all know I've talked to you about this before on my Instagram about how I'm just a lover of a psychic. Like, I love it. When I went in, he's like, so who's the nurse? And he's like, you've been trying to have a baby and it's not working. He's like, but don't worry, like, that it's not working, it's not latching because you're too stressed. Shock. I was like, oh yeah, like, yeah, my job is very stressful, just life stressful. He's like, yeah, you're just too stressed, but don't worry. 6 months, and we got pregnant on the 6th month. How does he know that? How would he know that? Like, oh, happy and absolutely buzzing. So like I say, obviously it's not long at all that sometimes people, you know, will try for years and years to get pregnant or still be trying to get pregnant and it's not quite working. So again, feel so lucky that it like has happened for us. But yeah, it just felt long at the time. Next question, it says, how did you find out? So we actually, because we've been trying and stuff, I must have done like about 500 pregnancy tests. The amount of money I must have spent on pregnancy tests and like ovulation sticks and all of the stuff, and literally tried everything in the book. So we found out, because it was when we went to Centre Parks in October. I don't know if like some of you will remember from like my Instagram, but we went to Centre Parks for the weekend and I was due to come on the Monday. So on like the Friday before we went to Centre Parks, I thought, right, I'll just do a test because it should show by now. But anyway, negative. Oh, again, right, disappointed, whatever. So we'll just go and have a nice time at Centre Parks. We had a great time while we were there, like doing all the waves and the rapids, going in the spas, on the slides, like having a drink, doing all this stuff. And then when we were coming home on the Monday, I just thought, I'm coming on today, like I had all the usual PMS symptoms, like I wouldn't say I felt any different, like being pregnant than like due to come on your period. I felt exactly the same. The only thing that was different, that when I look back I think, oh yeah, is probably about 10 days after like you would ovulate. I remember being at work and I just got this really sharp pain in like my groin that travelled up to like your belly button. You know, if like you stick your finger in your belly button and you get like that weird sensation all the way down to like your groin. It was like that kind of, oh, like, and it was like crampy. But I didn't think anything of it at the time. When I'm thinking, oh, that was probably like implantation or something. I came home on that Monday and I thought, I'll just do a test, like not thinking that I was pregnant whatsoever because I'd already done one on the Friday. It was negative. And the 2 lines came up. Daniel's in the back office on a meeting with work. And when we'd started trying to get pregnant, I started collecting things, so for like 6 months, a baby girl saying like, love you daddy, like a daddy poem, just all like little things. So I thought, right, I need to go out and get a box now and put all this in with the test, with the lines on. So I did, and I set it up downstairs and then I videoed it, and I've got Daniel's like reaction. It's so nice. It was like the best thing ever because he had wanted a baby since like we got married. Like he was desperate to have children, and I was like, you know, I've literally just qualified. You know, I want to get a year in behind me so that I can go on to agency, like doing the clinic. Like I don't know if I'm just ready now. I just need a year because, you know, I'd literally just qualified as a nurse. But now I feel more ready. But I mean, do you ever feel ready? Do you ever feel prepared to actually have a baby? Like, I don't know, it's just going to completely change my life forever. But, you know, hopefully working boss mum, like, that's the vibe I'm hopefully going for. Like, all you mums are probably like sitting there laughing like, good one, let's see how that one works out for you. But back to the actual question. So obviously, told Daniel, it was my mum's birthday the next day, so I did the same for my mum, did a box for my mum, and like told my family and then told Daniel's family, and yeah, it was just so lovely. Next question. Oh, this baby's gassy. Right, okay. What symptoms have you had? How have you been feeling? That was like a pretty standard question from everybody. Well, where do I actually even start with this one? Because I taught you, it's not been good. Like, let's just say that, guys. I have been really poorly, but not from the standard things that like you would expect. Like right now, I don't look or feel poorly because this morning's been a good morning. Do you know what? Random things just creep up on you when you're pregnant. Like all of a sudden, your nose is streaming or your eyes are watering, or I think it's a bit too TMI to say that, but actually we're a bunch of nurses, so like or you'll just be like, you'll have no control over like, you know, your bowels, like farting, whatever. Right, okay. Yeah, the first trimester, obviously, all the usual, not feeling very well. I've had all day nausea from about 5.5 weeks, so constantly felt sick all day long up until about, I would say maybe like 13 weeks, just feeling sickly all day. But yeah, which obviously isn't nice, like it's disgusting. And I just ended up being in bed or having to get up for a couple of hours in the day, like to see clients in the clinic. But yeah, all day sickness, nausea, headaches, like really bad headaches, like really bad like period pain cramps. That's another one that you obviously don't expect. What else? General first trimester symptoms, but my issue mainly has been As you guys already know, I've had like cardiac problems, like I've been investigated under cardiology prior to getting pregnant. So becoming pregnant has just exacerbated all of them problems to the point where, you know, if you were to ring up your doctors with any of these symptoms, they'd just say constantly go to A&E, which is what they always tell me to do. So I've got my GTN spray. The doctors have started me on nifedipine as well, because I'm constantly getting like chest pain, like up into my neck, like, you know, all stuff that you'd think, oh my god, this girl needs to like go to A&E immediately. But that's just constantly how I feel being pregnant, and I'm so out of breath all of the time. So like walking up the stairs, doing anything, so there's no way at all I could even go and work in the hospital at the moment, because I just about manage like doing my clinics, and I can like take my time, and you can sit down and it's not racing around, and yeah, it's just a bit easier. So yeah, that's been my main symptom, the breathlessness, and my heart is constantly racing. I don't know if anybody else has got this when they were pregnant, but I'd watched so many like YouTubes of like pregnancy vloggers, and like I've seen a few people like say, talking about their symptoms, and I remember seeing one girl and she's like, oh, I got this awful symptom about 18 weeks pregnant, and it went on for a few weeks, and it was the worst symptom I had, like way worse than any of the sickness, just where I felt so out of breath and my heart was pounding, like palpitations, and I felt so poorly with it. And I'm like, oh honey, that's literally how I felt from about 6 weeks pregnant, and really it's put a massive dampener on my whole pregnancy experience, because I don't feel like I look forward to things. I'm just trying to get through it, and I probably look back and think I missed a lot of moments by being anxious. Oh god, right, I'm all of a sudden feeling like emotional, like I could start tearing up and crying. This is another thing what pregnancy does to you. Yeah, I don't want to look back and thinking that I've missed out on a lot of things, because I'm constantly like worried. But a lot of the time I have been sat in my bedroom, being as close to Daniel as possible. Like I don't ever want to be alone. I don't want to be on my own, because I'm worried that something might happen to me, like with my chest. Oh god, this is getting really deep. Yeah, and it's just really been an awful experience. So like, it's made me think that there's so many different types of like a bad pregnancy. So like, you know, obviously people get hyperemesis and they go into hospital, and people get pelvic girdle, and like I've had people say to me whilst I've been pregnant, oh well, it could be worse, like, you know, you could be in hospital with sickness. And I think, well yeah, that I can't relate to that, because obviously I don't have that, and that must be awful as well. But this symptom for me has been so awful that I just feel like it's stopped me from doing a lot of things and just like living my life normally. But we try to look at the positives and take the positives out of all these situations, and it'll be worth it in July. One positive thing about my whole pregnancy that I absolutely love is at 16 weeks we went for a private scan, and we got to listen to the baby's heartbeat, and we got it put in a teddy. So listen. Oh god, I'm gonna cry. So anytime I need to compose. Anytime I'm feeling like super anxious, or my heart is racing, and I just don't feel well, I just having this just makes me feel like better, because I can't feel the baby kick or move yet. I still don't feel like it's real. I've got this bump, I feel ill, I know it's real, I know the baby's there, I've seen it on like 4 or 5 scans that we've had now, but it just still doesn't feel real. Like all I felt is these little like flutters, and my pregnancy has been classed as high risk now. But one thing I've found in pregnancy is you just don't seem to get any support until you're further along. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but as like a first time mum, I feel like anytime you ring the midwives, unless you're in pain or you're bleeding, it's like GP, A&E. I'm under the obstetrics and cardiology, which I haven't seen either of them yet. I was told that for the cardiology it was a 2-year waiting list, which is, that's just on our failing NHS system. But because obviously my mum is a manager in a doctor's surgery, and we almost have like a family GP. They've managed to speed the whole process along, and for an urgent appointment it's taken 5 months. It's terrible, so I don't feel like I've had much support, but we're getting there, and hopefully the second... I'm literally about to say hopefully the second half is going to be a lot better, and all you guys who've got kids are thinking, oh honey, let's try and take the positives out of it. What have I been doing that's positive? I started pregnancy yoga, which is nice, like relaxation classes, but yeah, that's about it. Not been feeling great. So what have we got? What's your pregnancy essentials? Basically, up until about 7 weeks pregnant, were my pregnancy essentials. If I ever see a ginger biscuit again in my life, it will be too soon. Haribo's, and these, I've got these on Amazon, like Preggy Pop Drops, and they did take the edge off. Like, I used to just take them to work. This is back when I was actually working on the ward. Then that quickly went out of the window when I started to get to like 7 weeks, which is when I invested in these little godsend lifesavers, just some, you know, the pressure bands, the seasickness bands, and I thought, this isn't going to work. This is like total nonsense. Like, surely that's not going to work. But apparently there's some kind of pressure point in your arm there from your head to your stomach that it intercepts. Don't know how, but it actually worked. And from about 7 weeks to 9 weeks, I didn't feel like nowhere near as nauseous as like I did previously. It got to a point where they didn't really work anymore, when obviously pregnancy hormones like get further. So I got myself a little like journal for the baby, so like writing loads of different things down and memories, and like when all your prenatal like appointments are. We've got like a little Polaroid camera, so I've done loads of like little pictures and wrote down like the date. It's obviously like our latest scan that we went to, that was 16 weeks. You know, 12 weeks watching Harry Potter, like all through Christmas. This is the first Christmas that I've actually really not enjoyed Christmas whatsoever. Didn't enjoy the cheese board, didn't eat any food, like pretty rubbish to be honest. Literally me struggling in bed, mummy struggling, daddy still can't take pictures, 5 weeks. So yeah. Oh my god, that's another one. At one point, I had to, I don't know if you can see it there, that clip on my nose, you won't really be able to see it, but I ended up having to buy one of them swimming clips because Daniel constantly turns the house into like some kind of gas, like I don't even know what he does, but every time he's making a coffee, turning the oven on, using the air fryer, I think I'm actually going to kill him. I ended up having to buy one of them because I thought I cannot stand the smell of this house anymore. So that's another of my first trimester essentials. Pregnancy essentials. How many children do you want? Like, that's like, if you would have asked me like 10 years ago, I wanted 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys, and now I think it's just going to have to be a solid 2. There's times in this pregnancy though where I have actually said to Daniel, this is the only baby we're going to have, and for the next one we're just going to have to do a Kim Kardashian surrogate. I'd like, because I don't know how I can go through this again. And he's like, all right then, calm down. All that feeling will go away when the baby's here and you'll just do it again, won't you? Yeah, but I'd say 2. I always used to want girls, because me and my sister, it was just me and her, like 17 months apart, grew up together, so close. But we've got so many girls in our family now. My sister's got 2 girls. I feel like we've got 4 sisters. We've got 2 half-sisters as well. And I think all I've ever known is girls. And it'd just be so lovely maybe to just have a boy, like different. And we've got lots of girls in Daniel's side of the family as well. Like, there's not as many boys. I think it might just be nice to have like a little boy. But at the same time, it would be nice to have like a girl who's close in age to her cousins. I don't know, but I really would be happy with either or. Get what you're giving at you at the end of the day. I've been still working agency. No, so I stopped working agency at about 7.5 weeks. And do you know what, really, I always say things are meant to be, and they really are, because I don't know if you remember, I block booked to work on a surgical assessment clinic up until Christmas. We're gonna have to like cancel them, which is fine. And at the time I was like to Daniel, oh my god, what am I gonna do, because I really don't want to have to go back on the wards at the moment. And he was like, you know what, you've got the clinic, it's busy in November, December this time of year, like, we'll be okay, just have some like time off till January and let's see how you feel. And props to people who do work at the hospital. It's made me think people who do their whole pregnancy as a nurse, you know what, like superheroes, because I feel like I'm struggling so much. I don't know you like people have done it, that it's like amazing. At the moment I'm happy to do the clinic, it's busy and it's enough for me just during the pregnancy, and maybe like once I've had the baby I might go back and do some, but I've been doing like different courses while I've been off. I've got something really exciting just for you guys that I'm doing, which I think you will love, but also just doing extra courses for nurse things. I thought maybe I could go and do some like practice nurse shifts, like if I do some of their courses, and I've reached out to a few of my practice nurse friends on Instagram and they've just given me like ideas and tips and stuff, so that's good. So we'll see, who knows, like, but at the moment bedside is off the cards just for now. So how does your mat leave work with agency? So I'm obviously a self-employed person, aren't I, with the clinic and with the agency. So how it works is I just get statutory maternity, like, which isn't good, is it? Like, it's not good like compared to the NHS maternity pay. But if you've been doing your national insurance and I think it's tax for the last 12 months, you're entitled to I think it's £157 a week or something, or £150 a week, which works out about like what, £600 a month. It's nothing, it's not really good. So the clinic will keep me going. I've managed to save. You get better money. When I did do the agency, I was saving up then when we found out we were pregnant for like the first month. So yeah, and I don't plan on having loads of time off. I mean, we'll see like how I adjust to being like a new mum, but because the clinic is convenient and you can sometimes just do an evening clinic and get the same amount of pay as a week on agency, you might just do like an evening clinic like here and there. Yeah, and I'm happy to do that. And I don't want to like obviously have to say goodbye to like loads of my clients for a while, so yeah, I'll probably just keep going and do what I can do, but I might be like a walking zombie. Who knows? Who knows? Do you know what I have found out in this pregnancy though? I haven't had one good night's sleep since I found out that I was pregnant, and it's exhausting. Just because you're constantly weeing every like 10 minutes, or you're uncomfortable in bed rolling around, or having the wildest dreams like where you're being chased, or from being 15 years old with friends or boyfriends that you've never seen or like you wouldn't even be thinking of, but it's like just the most bizarre dreams. And yeah, I just haven't had a good night's sleep. And I say to Daniel, I feel like I could get up in the night, but I'm just not a morning person. So, you know, I'll do the night feeds if you want, but you're doing that morning one, like, because I literally want to have lying. But my mum is like, okay, Emily, like when I'm talking to her about this, she's just thinking, just wait, just you wait. Any cravings or aversions? So basically, up until about 14 weeks pregnant, I'm now nearly 18, I had food aversions to everything. Like, I couldn't tell you one thing that I would fancy eating, and it would drive Daniel insane because he'd be like, what do you want? Like, insert clip from The Notebook. What do you want? No, but he literally couldn't think of anything that I would want to eat. Like, everything just made me feel sick. And I'd still do it now sometimes. I can't think of things that I want to eat. But I do like cheese, Wotsits, Quavers, bagel with cream cheese, or... Oh, hang on, my mum's ringing me. Hello? Hiya. Hi. So my mum's doing babysitting this afternoon, and probably a plea for help. When are you coming up? Like, come and help me. So cravings, cheese, like I was just saying, so cheese toasties, things like that. But any of you gallstone gals will know that it's just doesn't go hand in hand. So that's another symptom I didn't even tell you about, like having really bad stomach ache like constantly, and just doesn't help when you've got gallstones. So yeah, and aversions to most things, but mainly anything with like onions, like chopped onions, or like even the thought of that, like it's filling my mouth with water. Like the thought of like chopped onions or like peppers and garlic, oh, like no. I went through a stage of just liking things with like mash and gravy. So mum would make shepherd's pies all the time. So yeah, food evasions. Do you know what you're having yet? No, we're not going to find out. We're not going to find out if we're having a girl or a boy, just because to each their own. I really love the neutrals and the beige, and I'm not bothered about like getting organised, because I just think, well, I like neutral colours, but also my mum used to always say you'll never have a surprise like it. Like, she didn't find out with me or my sister, so then my sister didn't find out with her children. So I'm like, well, we're not, like, Daniel doesn't want to know either. So yeah, my mother's intuition would tell me that it's a girl, and I don't know why. I just feel like I've had a look on like the picture at first and thought, oh, the nub theory, maybe it's a girl, and then just the cravings are more like, at first it was Haribo, so more things sweet. I'd more be inclined to eat chocolate than go and get crisps, which isn't like me at all. I'd always be like salt and vinegar crisps. I've completely gone off them. My skin's been awful, like so dry. I had a stage where I just kept breaking out loads, and I never really get spots. I don't know, just loads of the old wives' tales of girl or boy, and I felt like a lot of them like pointed towards girl, but who knows, like, could very well be a boy. We've got all our names sorted, like, so we're ready to go. Like, as soon as this baby is ready to go, so will I be. We started the nursery yet, so we've just started clearing out the room. I don't even know really where to start. Like, my mum is so good, like, she's bought us like the cot and furniture and different things, and then my dad's a joiner, so he's gonna like help us with setting up downstairs and stuff. But yeah, I've not really thought of any like colour themes yet, or if anyone's got any ideas of where to start with like baby, like nursery type things, or anything that I've not thought. Went to somewhere in Manchester to get all our essentials, so like we've ordered the pram, but it's not available till April. So we've just like put our name down on it, and then what else did we get? Like Moses baskets and Tommy tipping machines, and I mean, I'm obviously going to try and breastfeed, but who knows, like, you don't know what's going to happen. So Tommy tipping machines, and we've got a baby monitor, but I've recently thought I really want one of them owlet things, you know, that go on the feet. I'm going to be able to sleep at night, like constantly like, is the baby breathing? Oh my God. Like, since finding out I'm pregnant, the first thing my mum said to me was like, well, you'll be worried from now till the end of time. Like, and it's like true. I feel like I'm worried at the moment about the pregnancy and like actually getting through it, and like the baby and stuff, and the thought of labour absolutely terrifies me. I think when you work in healthcare, you see a lot, you know a lot that you wish you didn't, and I'm not worried about the pain, I'm not worried about that kind of, you know, having to go through the birth. I'm terrified of all the complications. Like, you know, I'm ginger, I think, am I going to bleed? Like, I just really don't want to have a section. And like, people might say, oh God, having a section was the best thing ever, I had a terrible natural birth. I just don't know. I just feel like everything will go wrong for me. Like, I'm short. I'm like anxious about it most days, like when I think about it. Yeah, so everyone that comes, like any midwives that I know, I'm constantly asking questions. I mean, you can't plan for these things, can you? You're just gonna have to like roll with it and not try and stress about it too much. Like, whatever happens will happen on that labour experience. I know when the baby's here, I'll be constantly like, I just don't think I like ever sleep properly again. And like, when I tell my mum about this, she's like, oh yeah, Emily, I still worry about you and your sister now. It's like every like few years it's a new worry. It's like the next worry and the next worry, and I just think, oh my God, like, why do we sign up to this? Next, is there anything that you're missing whilst being pregnant? So, what am I missing? Oh, well, that is actually really easy to answer, and I can't believe the thing didn't pop into my head immediately, but I've got a baby brain. All of my Botox and skincare. Like, because the Botox is just something that is needs must at my age, and for prevention, you know, I love it, love to bang on about it. And skincare, the amount of things you have to actually give up when you're pregnant, you don't even realise. So like, all of your skincare products, lots of hair care products, cleaning things, there's like loads of stuff like that, which I just think, oh my God, I can't wait to get back to doing that. That would be like my favourite thing. Like, having a drink isn't really, I'm not really that bothered about having a drink. And just being able to be a normal functioning human being that's not constantly puffing and panting and sat like bloody crying on the end of the bed. Not everybody has a good pregnancy, and mums are like, there's this thing to make you think that you should really enjoy pregnancy, and it's not always the case. And I've been to some of these like classes and things, and people are talking about like really exciting things and what's coming up for them, and sometimes I just sit there and I'm like, God, why do I not feel the same way as these other mums to be feel? Like, why? And then that gets me upset and I feel like it's depressing. But I don't know if anybody else feels like that. It's nice just to know that you're not alone in feeling like that. Right, so last question. What plans have you got for agency and aesthetics? So obviously, like I said before, like agency we're not focusing on at the moment, but we definitely will always still be keeping nursing in mind. You know, we work really hard for our pins and definitely won't be saying goodbye to it anytime soon. Just maybe like a change, just doing it something in community that's agency based, like who knows, just not bedside for now. And with aesthetics, there's a lot. There is a lot coming up. Let me tell you, there is a lot. So there's so many plans because I've been off. Obviously, I've been working on really exciting things, and yeah, I'm hoping to just develop on that because it's where my passion is. Skin, like all that kind of focus. Yeah, it's just what I love, and I love obviously doing this kind of stuff as well, like the Instagram and YouTube. I'm going to try to be consistent with it. I know I said a year ago I was going to, and it's just not really materialised, has it? But going to try and be very consistent. Any topics which you think, oh, like, let's discuss this, let me know like in the comments and we can maybe do our next one about it. Thank you so much for tuning in to my first vlog, my first YouTube, and obviously for all the love on the pregnancy. And now you know where I've been all this time. Don't worry, my pages are not going to turn into like pregnancy vlogs. I know that all of my lovely followers are here for nurse related things, but sometimes you just got to put a little bit of lifestyle in there as well and keep it real. Just going to keep it real, honeys. So yeah, that's it, and yeah, we'll hopefully catch up very soon. Yeah, have a lovely week.